So, here we are in New York City Comic Con 2022, and we have one of the most influential, let's say, important people in the comic business, and one of our friends that is always helping us. You guys know about the reviews and about the comics and news, Mr. Todd McFarlane.
Look, part of the credit is that I'm just getting old. And once you hang around a long time, then people start saying nice things about you, right? So usually when you start getting some of those titles, then it just means you're getting to be an old man. So, but I appreciate it. So, as we're doing our interview, if I happen to have my head down and my pen, I've got a deadline. I've got this Spawn Batman book that I'm doing here. So I've got some severe deadlines. So I got to work and talk at the same time.
Is this for Batman and Spawn?
Yeah, this is page 17 right here. So, yeah.
So we did an interview like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And we talked about the new things in Spawn. So King Spawn, Scorch,
Gunslinger.
Yeah. And you told us, let's see how it goes. Let's see if the number one sells good, then we go to number two, then we go to number three. We are seeing that it's becoming huge.
Yeah, well, here's what happened. All 4 of the books came out and set some kind of record, right? They all set some kind of sales record. This Spawn Batman book should, so Gunslinger set a record. King Spawn was the number 1 selling book in North America for the entire year last year, right? This Batman Spawn is going to be number 1 this year, with an outside chance of being the number 1 selling book of the entire century, right? That's the goal, to make this the number 1 selling book of this century, bar none, for any company, right? So we've got, momentum is still at our back 30 years later, right? We're celebrating this year the 30th anniversary of both Image Comics and Spawn, because they both started in 1992. And, on Wednesday we just announced a little bit of news update on the Spawn movie, right? So 30 years later, we're still doing okay, right? Which is, again, a long journey. I can't say that in all those 30 years, we always had momentum. You get sort of ups and downs in your journey that you go to. Right now, we seem to be on a little bit of an uptick. But the thing that's surprising about those 4 books that you mentioned is that I thought that they would sort of separate, and people go, I like that one and over that one and whatever.
I remember.
But that hasn't happened. The orders from the top selling to the bottom selling are about the same. I mean, it's really tight, and it seems like, talking to retailers, that people are coming in and buying all 4.
Yeah, we're
right?
going after all.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of continuity that goes into it, but I didn't want to make it heavy, so I didn't want to force people to have to buy all 4 of them. But I'm actually surprised at how people are just grouping it as, oh, we like the Spawn world, we'll buy all 4 of them, right? And again, the books are only $2.99. They are the cheapest books. It is now mine are the only books that are $2.99, because the other books are either $3.99, $4.99, or in some cases even $5.99, right? And I put a cardboard cover on them, right? I upgraded the covers on them so the covers are thick, so that it feels more sophisticated for $2.99. Right?
Yes, definitely. It's one of the best. Pretty much like with the action figures, you are offering amazing pieces.
Here's the secret. You want to start a business, give as much value, as much quality as you can, and price it as low as you can. You can do that. You can sell anything, right? You build a Cadillac, a BMW, a Mercedes-Benz, and you sell it at Ford Motor prices, you'll sell that car all day long, right? So, but companies are built, and I understand, are built to maximize profits. public companies. That is their goal. That is what they're supposed to do. So, and every 90 days they have to report to the shareholders whether they are maximizing those values. And the people that are at the top of those companies, their job legally, and I understand that because I deal with them all the time, is to maximize that value every 90 days. Because you've got to do a quarterly report.
Yeah.
I don't have any of those pressures. So if I want to sell my book for $2.99, or tomorrow if I want to go to $1.99, I can do it. And the only person that hurts financially is me.
And that's something you also told me, that you love to keep, the property for, let's say, an artist, that this person is going to keep his or her character.
Yep.
If he's working with you, you are just trying to get a lot of people, a lot of great artists from all around the world, and we are seeing a lot of new people. Actually, he's a friend of ours. Our community chose this one because we love Javi.
Oh yes, he is spectacular. He is magnificent.
This is an amazing work. So
yes,
and,
he's doing stuff in the book that no other artists have done on the book, right? With visuals, and it's interesting because Javi was, I think, cautious and too nice about his artwork when he first got on the book, because he wanted to draw sort of this classic, nice Spawn that I've seen 1,000 times before, and that Greg Capullo and I can do all day long. And I was going, no, Javi, I hired you because of your style, right, and your work and your mood and all that. Like, stop it. I want you to just go crazy and just come up with some cool stuff and do. I want you to put on paper stuff that nobody's seen before. That's why I hired you, not to repeat what they've seen. I want you to do some new stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like, well, what does that mean? I don't know. You're the artist. Have fun. And once he understood, I kept saying, stop thinking of him as a man in a suit, and just think of him as a force of nature. You're like a specter. Don't think of him as a man. And once he got and flipped that switch, then I started seeing that. And he started doing cool stuff with the cape and with the character. And you can even see it here on this one here, where he's putting like spikes in the head, right? And he's got all this cool, like, I don't know. I didn't tell him to put spikes in the head, but it looks cool, right? Yeah, right. And that's just with pencils, ladies and gentlemen. You can see what the final ink version looks like. But he does it constantly in the book. He's always got these images that I just go, oh my gosh. So he's now found his groove with the character, and now he's made his mark. And it's like, oh, that's the Javi Fernandez look, right? I think it's going to be hard to replicate, but I don't want people now to replicate Javi. I want then whoever takes over after Javi to say, go do your own thing and make it just as cool. Yeah, come on, you're an artist, have fun, right? So.
And how about the movie? How the movie is going?
On Wednesday, we made a updated announcement where we added a couple writers, right? The gentleman by the name of Scott Silver. It's interesting, most people that go to movies know people in the front of the camera. They know people in the front of the camera, not behind the camera. So what you know is their work, right? So Scott Silver came on as one of the writers. He's the guy that wrote The Joker, right? Again, the largest economically successful R-rated movie in cinema history. Forget superheroes. Forget comic books. Wow. I've got control of Spawn, but my job, if I'm smart, is to hire really skilled people and let them do their thing, right? And make sure we get there. The other writer is Malcolm Spellman. Malcolm Spellman is currently writing Captain America 4, but he also wrote, helped create like Empire, Bel Air, and then wrote Empire, and wrote Falcon and the Winter Soldier that came on during the pandemic when we all needed something in our hat, and then a young upcoming talent, a guy named Matt Mixon. So at some point between some of the A-list actors and the A-list writers now and the A-list producers that we have, we'll eventually, hopefully, we'll get an A-list director. We put that team together. That is going to be the recipe that will get us the deal that we need, that will get a studio to back us to the fullest, because they'll see that they're dealing with a very talented, significant team with a brand name that's been around for 30 years and on some months outsells anything Marvel and DC does at any point. So, okay, they could do far worse if they're looking for comic book material. So,
just one last question, because we have to go now. For the lovers of action figures, how about the new Kickstarter? It's coming?
Yes. Within the next month we'll announce it. It'd be a character, Medieval Spawn. Medieval Spawn. I just signed off on a bunch of the weapons and the helmets the other day or something like that. So, but I waited, like I said, because I wanted to get the first one out. I wanted everybody to see it. I wanted to let everybody know what they were buying before I came back and said, hey, do you want to buy a second one, right? I always think it's fair to the consumer, to the customer, to the fan, to know what it is they're buying as much as possible. So if you say it looks like that and that's out, I didn't want to push out the first one and then before they even got it in their hands say, hey, here's the second one. So I do that. It was the same way why I spread out the 4 comic books. I wanted the first one to come out and people to see it before they have to put in the orders and think about the second one. I didn't want to just go, hey, there's 4 of them coming out in 1 month and you got to buy them all blindly. I don't want you to buy it blindly. I want you to buy it willingly and saying, no, I like the first one. You know, like a good restaurant. I've gone there, I've sampled the food, I liked it. I'm either going to go back because I liked it or I didn't like it and I'm not going to come back. But I want people to sample everything that I do before I ask them to come back a second time.
Yeah. Sir, thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
What a great pleasure to see you again.
Yes. All the best to you, too. Hopefully you enjoy your convention.
Let's keep on working together.
Okay.
This has been an honor for us since like 7 years ago. Yeah. And
we'll both keep doing it.
we will keep doing